Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In what may go down as the most earth-shattering development in Sister Wives history, Season 20 has detonated with a secret so raw, so emotionally devastating, that fans, critics, and even the Brown family themselves are left stunned in its aftermath. And it all comes down to a single voicemail from Robyn Brown that has now been exposed. A recording that Garrison Brown tried desperately to warn the family about before his tragic death, but which no one seemed ready to hear, until now. The bombshell voicemail, allegedly recorded during the peak of the family's unraveling, has surfaced thanks to a close family friend who claims they were given access to a password-protected voice archive that Garrison had saved to a secure drive. Whether Garrison intended this to be heard posthumously or as a final attempt to show the world what was happening behind closed doors is unclear, but the content of that voicemail is anything but vague. Robyn's voice, sharp and emotional, can be heard on the recording blaming the older children for turning the family against her, declaring that she was the only one who ever respected Cody's authority, and most chillingly, suggesting that some people should have just kept quiet and stayed in line. Fans are now reeling, demanding answers, and asking one question louder than any other. Was Garrison trying to tell us this all along, and why didn't anyone listen? The emotional weight of this leak has gutted the Brown family, already fractured beyond repair following years of crumbling marriages, financial strain, favoritism accusations, and a growing war between Cody's vision of patriarchy and his children's push for autonomy. But this is different. This isn't just hearsay or awkward tension in a living room confessional. This is evidence. This is Robyn, on tape, unraveling behind the scenes, exposing a bitterness that fans have long suspected but never fully heard in her own words. The voicemail, time-stamped just days after Christine officially left the family in 2021, has Robyn allegedly lamenting that this family would have been fine if the women and the kids just knew their place, adding, "I never asked for any of this attention. I just wanted to be the one who did things the right way." The line that has sparked the most outrage, however, comes near the end, where she says, "Garrison needs to stop acting like he knows anything about this family. He's poisoning the others." For many, this is confirmation of a long-held suspicion that Garrison's outspoken frustration about Robyn's influence, expressed on social media, in brief on-camera comments, and, according to some insiders, in private arguments with Cody, was not just a rebellious son venting, but a man trying to protect his siblings and expose what he believed was a toxic dynamic swallowing the Brown family whole. Now, fans are revisiting every clip of Garrison from season 16 through 18 with a new perspective. His eyes, often filled with tension and unspoken pain, make sense in a way they didn't before. In particular, one confessional is being heavily circulated online, where Garrison says with a defeated tone, "There's stuff I wish I could say, but I won't. I still love my family." It's being viewed now not as vague commentary, but as a coded warning. What was he trying to shield us from? Who was he protecting? His mother, Janelle, has remained silent on the voicemail leak so far, though sources close to the family suggest she is absolutely crushed and heartbroken that Garrison's words are only now being validated after his passing. The tragedy of it all is amplified by the fact that Garrison's voice is no longer physically here to speak for himself, but the recording he helped preserve may be doing it for him, sparking not only fan outcry, but also a full-blown media circus around Robyn's intentions, her loyalty to the family, and what role, if any, this voicemail played in deepening the emotional isolation Garrison may have felt in his final months. Cody Brown, predictably, is caught in the center of the storm, though his response, or lack thereof, has only made things worse. According to a family insider who spoke anonymously, Cody was informed of the voicemail's existence weeks before it went public, but did nothing to stop it, nor did he alert the rest of the family. Instead, he allegedly confronted Robyn privately and warned her that it might be time to start thinking about damage control. That comment alone, tone-deaf, cold, and entirely devoid of empathy, has enraged longtime viewers, who see it as further proof that Cody's priorities lie in optics and control, not healing or truth. Meanwhile, Christine and Mary have both subtly reacted online. Christine shared a cryptic Instagram story that simply said, "Truth has a funny way of surfacing," while Mary posted a quote that read, "Sometimes silence is its own answer." Fans believe these are their ways of acknowledging the scandal, without violating any contractual agreements or NDA limitations. Still, the silence is deafening and telling. Then there's Robyn herself, who has gone almost entirely off the grid since the voicemail surfaced. Her publicist issued a vague statement denying that the voicemail reflects her true feelings and insisting that the recording was taken out of context during an emotional and private moment. But for many, that response rings hollow. What context could possibly justify saying a child, your husband's child, is poisoning the family and should stay in line? The backlash has been swift and brutal. Fans have flooded TLC's social media pages, demanding that Robyn be held accountable, that Garrison's voice be honored, and that the network stop protecting Robyn from scrutiny. Hashtags like #JusticeForGarrison and #ReleaseTheRest have been trending for days, with some alleging that Garrison may have had more recordings or journal entries tucked away, and that this voicemail is just the tip of the iceberg. Behind the scenes, the fallout is turning into a full-blown civil war within the Browns. According to insiders, some of the adult children are now refusing to speak to Cody or Robyn at all. Gabe, who has long had tension with his father, allegedly broke down upon hearing the voicemail, sobbing that Garrison was telling the truth. He was always telling the truth. Logan, the eldest and often the peacekeeper, has also reportedly reached out to TLC producers, urging them to tread carefully with Season 20's airing schedule and demanding that any manipulation of Garrison's story be corrected, not exploited. Janelle, caught in the middle of this firestorm, is reportedly considering her first on-camera sit-down since Garrison's passing to set the record straight and reclaim her son's narrative before it's twisted any further. TLC now faces a pivotal moment. Do they bury this scandal under the guise of respecting privacy, or do they lean in and give viewers the truth? Rumors swirl that producers have hours of unused footage from Garrison, footage that could recontextualize not just the voicemail, but the last few seasons of emotional breakdowns, estrangements, and family implosions. If this voicemail was the match, that footage might be the gasoline. And still, one question remains. What else did Garrison know? What else did he try to say that nobody wanted to hear? For many, his efforts to be heard, now posthumously amplified, paint him not as a troubled son, but a whistleblower in a family that refused to face its own darkness. Cody Brown did not share Mary Brown's wish for a spiritual divorce. Even though Janelle and Christine believed they didn't need to divorce Cody since their marriage was never lawful, Mary requested an official separation or release from their church in late 2022. She explained on the September 22nd episode that it was through our church when each of us four ladies married Cody. Obviously, we can't all be legally married, but it was what we called a covenant. So I feel like it's best to terminate that because we're not moving forward with any marriage and I don't want to be, sealed to him for eternity if he doesn't want me. And I'm at a place that, let's just separate this completely. Cody opposed the plan because he didn't want to acknowledge the authority of the church officials, she added. Cody stated, "The damage was done so badly that we're not going to reconcile no matter what," referring to his stance. "And so, however, we are made accountable to God. I don't want to be accountable to this church and all their BS. So I'm going to let Mary go and do her thing because if I'm angry at her, it becomes a fight. And I needed her just to go away because it just took forever for her to finally realize it's been done and over for years." A large number of Cody Brown's kids don't talk to each other. A text message argument concerning a 2021 holiday gift exchange took a particularly unpleasant turn for the 18 Brown kids. Christine offered a rationale. It all went bad. It all went south. Cody and Robyn and their kids were on one side, and they wanted nothing to do with Janelle, me, our kids. And there was a split that happened after this text thread. Robyn's 3 older children told her that the chat was emotionally unsafe and suggested that they cut ties with the person. But it was never anything about, "We don't want to see you again. We don't want anything to do with you," she said. It was just like, "Hey, this got yucky. Gabriel thinks they will be able to find each other once more. He said, "The thing I want most is to just have a relationship with Robyn's children again," during the October 13th episode. Aurora was my favorite person to hang out with in middle school. And in high school, I would always try to hit Dayton up. But I'm not hopeful for a relationship with Dad and Robyn. Robyn Brown's kids never felt like they belonged in the family. I've been told directly, multiple circumstances by multiple different people, that I was not accepted. Aurora's mother said when she married Cody in 2010, stating that I wasn't their sister and that they didn't think or consider me that way. In addition, her sister Brianna voiced the belief that the parents could have done a better job with, connecting us as a family, and it never really happened. But how they might have extended their embrace is a mystery to Christine. She made sure that Robyn and Robyn's children were invited to everything. I would just say, just come into the house anytime you want. Michael T. Brown Padron lived with Robyn's kids for a while, and her daughter Isabel Brown was close to them, she added. There were hard times and my kids were frustrated, but they always considered Robyn's kids their siblings, just the same. Janelle Brown would remarry, but Cody Brown would not. Lashing out at the autonomy she received through multiple marriages. When it's functioning correctly, you have this amazing family unit that you're part of, a community that you're plugged into. You have a husband and you have a great relationship with him, and you have everything, right? And then I have all my independence. So to me, plural marriage really was a really great arrangement. However, Cody would never say "I do" to polygamy again. He stated, "Polygamy kills emotional intimacy," on the December 1st broadcast. "It makes everybody defensive, and I really want an emotionally vulnerable, intimate relationship with a woman, and you're not going to get that in polygamy." Cody Brown started to separate from Janelle Brown years ago. Janelle says Cody had a harder time letting go of his feelings once the family relocated from Las Vegas to Arizona in 2018. She said, Cody found it a lot easier to be away when he moved to Flagstaff during the September 29th broadcast. She said, "I'm really tired." I'm like, well, you can rest at my house just as much as you can rest at Robyn's house. A couple of times I had to remind him that he needed to come to my house. She said that he would attempt to grovel since he was exhausted. Robyn Brown's home was not a favorite among Janelle Brown and Christine Brown Woolley's kids. "My children were scolded if they would open Robyn's fridge," Janelle recalled, explaining the separateness her family felt with Robyn. The issue with Christine's kids, however, was that they saw that Robyn and their dad were a couple and he wasn't in our home. Robyn continued by saying that her crew was aware of the disagreement. On the show on September 29th, she said, "Mary was very accepting of my kids and I overall, but the rest of the family really struggled to accept my kids and I. All we wanted to do was be a part of this family." In contrast, Gabriel would claim that he and his siblings collaborated to include them. "I think that Robyn definitely has a victim complex," he said in the October 13th episode. "I mean, to put it bluntly. And I don't necessarily attribute that to her. I think that different people, come up with different ways to stay afloat." But he went on, "If she actually believes that we were mistreating her or her children in any way when she was constantly getting favorited by Dad, and we were always working on our relationship with her kids, if she actually believes that, then there's no chance of me having a relationship with Robyn ever again." Robyn and Cody Brown's parenting methods were questioned by Janelle Brown. Having their dad move between 4 different homes did affect their 18 children, as Cody explained in the September 29th episode when he and Robyn's youngest child, Ariella, who was born in January 2016, clung to his leg as he attempted to leave. "I had to explain to her, there's another wife that needs me, another mommy. I got other kids that need to see me," Cody recalled. "And she's just dragging along on my legs screaming, 'Don't leave me, Daddy, don't leave me.' And I'm like, golly man, this is hard." Unfortunately, Janelle emphasized, that's just a reality of plural marriage. From the very beginning, she stated, the kids knew that their dad was not going to always be there. "I always felt like that Cody and Robyn mismanaged the situation with her children. Ari becomes so depressed or whatever if he is away for more than 3 or 4 days. I'm like, I feel like that was poor parenting. Through all history of the family, the other kids did it, And they're fine. They're well-adjusted adults. The relationship between Robyn Brown and Michael T. Padrone was intimate. Michael T., a mother of 3 and one of the few Brown children still close to Robyn and Cody, along with Christine and Janelle, served as a peacekeeper during Cody's divorces. Since Michael T. first joined the Brown family, Robyn and she had a tight relationship. Robyn was even invited to Michael T.'s twins' birth in November 2022 when she gave birth to Archer and Ace. I was trying to figure out who I was when Robyn first joined the family, and she made me feel special and she made me feel seen, Michael T. stated on the September 29th episode. Robyn was there for me when I needed somebody. She was there for me when I needed somebody to hear me, to love me. Christine, her mother, was also overjoyed. Christine commented on the episode of October 6th, "It was everything that I hoped for when Robyn entered the family, and it was clear that she and Michael T. had a great relationship. When I was so excited about having a plural family, I was hoping that my kids would have a great relationship with other moms." One of Cody Brown's children was allegedly brainwashed by him. Cody thinks that more than simply his wives removed him from their lives. "I am only guilty of not falling madly in love with their mothers." In the October 6th episodes, he shared his thoughts on his isolation from some of his older children, saying, "They're purposely leaving me out of their lives to punish me for a crime I did not commit." He also stated that he thinks his ex-spouses bear some of the blame. "This disparity in relationship with my children is specifically in my mind because of SD talk," he said. "There's this whirlwind of disappointment from the family breaking up or whatever, and it's like, well, blame Dad. Dad screwed up." He finds the name-calling disrespectful, even though he shares some of the blame. Cody revealed that he was experiencing problems relating to Hunter, Maddie, and Gabriel. He also revealed that one of his kids responded to a text message saying, "You are a piece of trash. I would never speak to you again, anyway. You brainwashed me and you manipulated me," he yelled to cameras in another incident. "One of my children has just told me, 'You're an a-hole. I'm never talking to you again.'" He also doesn't want to cope with that poison. "I'm not going to reach out forever," he said, adding that he feels his grown children should be doing more to put things right. "I'm willing to make the effort, but somebody else is going to have to be on the other end of that and make some effort too." Robyn Brown struggled to respect Cody Brown as a mom. Robyn found it very upsetting to watch Cody be separated from his grown children. In the program on October 6th, she stated, "My parents got divorced when I was little. He lived with one wife in another city, and then my mom lived alone. I remember confronting my biological father saying, 'What happened? Why?' All he really did was just make a bunch of lame excuses as to why he wasn't there for me when I was young, and it just sucked." No, she would not allow Cody's hurt feelings to stop him from trying. She said after their contentious on-camera altercation in late 2022 that, "I'm having a hard time not, feeling like losing respect for you a little bit." Cody acknowledged that he might be doing more to strengthen his bond with his kids, but he maintained that he needed to mend his heart first. Alleging that certain of his children are colluding against me, he stated, "I'm so angry about what has happened that if I talk to my kids, I'm worried that they'll trigger me with an accusation. I'm too hot-headed right now. All I'll do is more damage." For years, Cody Brown did not see his grandchildren. Much of the family was there when Logan, Janelle and Cody's eldest son, married his now-wife Michelle Petty in October 2022, but they weren't feeling the love. "You saw Madison take her kids and scuttle them away from me," Cody bemoaned to Robyn in the October 6th episode, referring to the fact that his daughter had not told him she was expecting her third child, Josephine, who was born in February 2023. "She never told me she was pregnant. Maddie doesn't really tell her dad anything, because they don't communicate much." Janelle responded, "Really, Maddie doesn't have any contact with him," when asked why her daughter didn't interact with Cody during the wedding. "She is very protective of her children. Cody has not been there since Evie was born, and Evie's 3.5. And she didn't want him to just drop in and be like, 'Oh, I'm your grandpa,' and then be like, 'What? Who is this guy? What does Cody think?' He said, 'It's unrealistic expectation for grandparents to be in their grandchildren's lives all the time, especially if you move your children to an entirely different coast.' I have a work and a life in Flagstaff, just like Maddie did in North Carolina. Cody Brown asked his kids to apologize to Robyn Brown. Cody's insistence on some sort of mea culpa is one persistent problem, despite the fact that it's clear that he and his adult children have very different opinions on their ongoing separation. After the COVID scare was over and we all went back to our normal lives, we still couldn't reconcile as a family because Cody felt like the boys needed to give an apology to him and to Robyn, especially to Robyn, Janelle recounted in the October 13th video. And after it sort of morphed into this, well, they just need to come and talk to me. According to Janelle, Cody's problem was that he thought his children had not been faithful to him. And the most precious person in this family who's given her heart and soul has been disrespected or some bull's tea like that, she continued. And I'm like, whatever, Cody. Sure, anything.